Good evening, everyone. This is Wilbert Cook of Hand Up Recovery Homes. And it's a wonderful guest, the realtor, Phylis Logan, who owns Logan Realty, a few other organizations, and also the president of the
Proviso West Suburban Branch of the NAACP.
The Proviso Suburban Branch of the NAACP.
He says that. Lord. I say NAACP if you want to remember us.
NAACP. Anyway, historical NAACP. Anyway, it is interesting to have a wonderful friend and colleague. We've helped do a lot of work in the Chicago West Side Branch NAACP. She's helped even more kids prepare for AXO and go to AXO annually for a few, almost 2 decades. I've supported them in spirit and in truth.
There you go.
And I've had a few family members do it and go with the youth division to the AXO awards. And I have been very supportive. We met helping rebuild the West Side Chicago West Side Branch NAACP.
Yes.
And I moved on to different things, a nonprofit, a Hand Up Recovery Homes. And she stayed there, helped continue to build that. She developed a whole housing platform throughout the city suburbs of Cook County, and even has become recognized statewide and has a statewide position in the Illinois NAACP statewide chapter. And she's now helping craft even national policies, procedures to help homeowners and especially tenants as well. So without further ado, on this Women's History Month, I believe it's third Monday in women's history, I'm bringing on another fantastic woman, Miss Phylis Logan, and she's going to give you a little bit more of her bio, and then she's going to tell you how prominently she's been featured in the history of real estate throughout Chicago, Cook County, Illinois, and the world.
I'm going to say the state of Illinois. It's less large enough for me.
Yeah, okay.
But I want to appreciate and thank you for inviting me here today. KNTV is no stranger to us. They've been a friend of ours for many years. But representing Women's Month, Women's History Month this go around, I am very proud to be sitting here. Represent a lot of black women.
Yes.
A lot of high-powered black women, as well as those that are just starting out, or looking to make it on their own, looking to prosper. And real estate has just been that heart and soul of mine that has driven me to all of these years later to be in this position. But I also want to pay homage to a few other strong black women who have been in this part of this profession with me, along with us together. And I have to give a shout first to Geraldine Lambert.
Okay.
Geraldine Lambert was a powerhouse in real estate as a black woman on the west side of Chicago. She just passed a week or so ago.
And she had the real estate company over there by MacArthur's.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Many years. Yes,
I never really got to meet her formally.
Yes, very powerful.
Okay.
Got started in working with the veterans many years ago when no one even knew that our veterans needed assistance in housing. And then I also have a few friends Southside. Joyce Gibson, a very prominent real estate broker on the Southside, broker owner. We have so many. I have a group of women that we call ourselves now on the west side of Chicago, the Collaborative.
Okay, all right now.
Veronica Smith is one of those. There's 5 of us.
Okay.
Veronica Smith, Victoria Julian, another upcoming, and we're hoping to watch her grow in a few years. And Lakeisha Hightower, her mom's been very instrumental with me on the west side as far as being an advocate in housing. So those of us, black women, we're doing great things and assisting our other young ladies and our sons to be in this industry. But they welcome us and we've earned the respect. I know I've earned the respect
Right,
to
okay.
have people say my name and appreciate and respect all that we do. And as strong advocates, we fight for housing needs. So, you know, we do where we need to do, and we are who we are because we work and represent people.
Right.
So, yes.
You know, well, I know I've had the good fortune to follow your career for 20 plus years. And I think some people don't realize one of the first shows I know you did is when they had the WOW initiative, when we talk about how long Congressman Davis has been in office and how much he's done that he doesn't even get credit for.
No, he doesn't.
But Phylis was on air on a regular basis helping promote housing ownership throughout the west side, west suburbs, the 7th congressional district in particular, even Inglewood,
Yes.
and which they helped hundreds, even thousands of people get started in the process, and even helped me save a property once because they had a fair at Malcolm X College. So you want to tell us something about your different housing initiatives you've helped create via the NAACP in the district, the 7th congressional district, and throughout the rest of the county and state?
The program under the leadership of Congressman Danny K. Davis, as well as Congressman Bobby Rush on the south side, they brought HUD together, Urban Development HUD, and they also bought IDA, the Illinois Housing Development Authority, brought those agencies together with us and with ownership wealth. Pretty much is what it stands for, is what it was and what we chose for it to do. We educated homeowners. We educated over 3,500 potential home buyers. We also assisted those that were tenants and wanted to remain, because not everybody wants to be a homeowner, right? So we don't push that. But our goal and objective was to put them in houses and home ownership into programs financially that they could afford. We were able to get the state, the U.S. government, HUD, to give up what we call bonus money, gap funding. When houses were selling for $200,000, that was around the early 2000s, and we ran that program for about 5-6 years. Got quite a few homeowners, people into homes rather, and many of them are still there today because we gave them a product that was reasonable, that they could not. It was a fail-safe because it offered them the ability to walk in with $80,000 worth of equity. We taught them how, hey, you don't want to refinance and pull equity out of here until you have to, meaning let your equity grow and have some wealth in this thing we call real estate. And like I said, for 5, 6, 7 years throughout Chicago, western suburbs, as well as far south as Harvey, we were able to put quite a few people into $200,000 homes, 3-4 bedrooms, basement, didn't need work, and we put up that $80,000 in HUD subsidies. They were actually acquiring those homes for $120,000. So and low interest rates. So there was no way that they could not retain those homes. So it was a very good program. We've been trying for the last 3-4 years with Congressman Davis try to get it back, but you know, leadership is not what
it once was. Cooperation is not what it once was. Timing, if it's off by a few months, you know, the whole government crashes. They take down the whole grant system for those that are struggling while they had to put the business mastermind take control of government.
We worked with the city of Chicago a few years later after that, working with the city to rehab properties for a lot of our abandoned properties when we got into everyone seeing the big X, red X on the buildings. We worked with the city of Chicago.
It's supposed to have been for safety, but some of it ended up being a demolition sign. Demolition coming soon.
But we were able to, with the assistance of the city of Chicago and Cook County, to put some of those properties back on the county tax roll and to get homeowners into them after working with contractors who went in and rehabbed those properties still.
Speaking of that, with the city right now, the middle program, and I'm hearing like in one ward, trying not to
Say what you got to
make
say.
it no drama.
Say
No,
what you gotta
no, no. I'm sometimes too honest, too openly honest, and people box you out. It's unfortunate. As hard as I work to help people, I can get boxed out for telling the truth. So sometimes if I don't need to say it, I'm not gonna say it. And sometimes you leave people in the organization names out, even
Yeah,
and talk
yeah.
about the potential issue
Yeah.
or lack of solutions or the lack of movement to create solutions. So we're gonna talk about that.
Okay,
The
let's talk about
middle
that.
program. I'm hearing it's open in one ward and closed already in another ward, and both of them got thousands of vacant lots available. So it's like, are you really helping the middle class people buy and build in the community, or are you really gonna still give a little help, then shift a bunch more to developers? And so, which is which with that? And have you been active in helping people access that in the city of Chicago, under the mayor Brandon Johnson and his aldermanic folks when they working together? Let's say that. And some of the dissension is earned, but a lot of it's not, and it's a divisive thing, us against each other, while everybody else benefit. And we have to stop that part. Our communities need too much help for us to do infighting to the benefit of other people, other groups. And so are you a part of that? How is that going? And with all the vacant property still out there, as well as vacant lots to build on, why would any ward loaded with vacant lots be closing the middle program at any point before they get another 2,000-3,000 units rehabbed and or developed? Not because you got 100 on the board. What, that just don't sound logical or efficient to me, or
you know
effective.
what? I can truly say, and this is how I recognize. Sometimes you can say, "Stupid is what stupid does."
Okay. I probably shouldn't have said it that way. Go right ahead.
I can say that.
You
Okay.
had your own company for 20 plus years, and a few other companies that you part of. So
but
your Dearborn Realty Group got your back. You and your other sisters,
but we have to keep it real, and
Right.
sitting in these meetings and listening to how the city describes, the Department of Planning and whatnot,
Right.
how they describe this substance. It's not even a substance; it's a thing. And land, and we
Okay.
know land's not growing. So land that's sitting there vacant right now is going to be vacant for somebody.
Right.
But how do we as individuals get there to be a part of that wealth gathering
Right.
mechanism? Because it creates wealth, without a doubt.
Definitely.
Those rooms, those programs are not for us, the individual. So you
Okay.
want a lot, I want a lot, I want 10 lots, okay?
Right,
But,
yeah.
I have to.
I want a dozen at a time.
The city wants me to promise them with a plan all laid out. I done
Right.
paid thousands of dollars for the experts, the architects, everybody that come out.
Architect.
They get their money up front.
Right, yeah.
Attorneys get their money up front. I've paid over $10,000 to present this proposal to the city for this lot or two or three. And I get shut down. Why? Because the city wants me to turn around and complete that project in a year.
Wow.
In a
okay.
year.
But a lot of it, even
In
when
a
you go
year.
to housing professionals, they say
They don't even
most
dig the
take
ground that quick.
1,800, not 1,800, but it might as well be 1,800 years. No, 18 months
Yes.
to
Yes.
3 years to get most developments from start. Now you started 18 months early, you get to
Yeah.
break ground 18 months later.
Yes.
And you may not get the complete stuff by all the checks from electrical, plumbing, codes, and all of that may not be able to open the actual building for 3 years.
When you see the cranes
Especially if
go
you
up,
don't have a big old
look how long the
network of
cranes have
development already.
Look how long we see cranes
Right.
up.
Yes.
It takes that long
Right.
to get all of those regulations in place, especially when you're talking about digging dirt.
So are they doing it a
So-
year now because they prefab them? Because they are throwing some up in North Lawndale
I'm
in the
one for
last
agitating
month,
the
2
heck out of
months.
somebody. They just want you and I not to be a
Right.
part of the process. That's about all I can tell you.
like,
So
oh, they-
if I cannot be a part of the process, who's a part of the process?
Right.
Well, the
Good
big
point.
developers at the table.
Right.
The big developers are at the table. The big developers are going to create all of this housing, all of this infrastructure for you people, you and I. we're going to pay the price for them to regain or continue their wealth building. We're going to be tenants.
Right.
Good majority of the properties that you'll see going up will be units for rent, not units for homeowners.
Right.
It may be some 2 units for a first-time home buyer to own a 2-unit with a tenant to help earn you some additional income. But we have to watch for that when it comes. So that's the middle, the middle, the middle. And that's the middle out and further out and then way out.
Right, okay.
Since you still want to be in the middle.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
so
All right.
3 levels of the middle.
That's a way to explain it that it doesn't help me feel better, but it is. But I'm going to take a
But we're gonna
station
talk
break.
about that.
A Hand Up Recovery Homes has a Changing Lives, Saving Families collaboration with Character Center at AME Church and my fellow colleague in the New Way of Life, Ron Jones, and a speakathon, March speakathon. On my birthday, March 28th, I will be doing service to the community and to our society. People with a new way of life, what we call recovery from different issues, mostly substance abuse and or alcoholism. And some of them were even dual diagnosed and with a bunch of stuff. And once they sober up, get clean, it's amazing how many psychotropic drugs they no longer have to take and how much they never have to go back drinking drug and never go back to the penitentiary. But that speakathon is March 28th, Character Center at AME Church, lower level. Enter on the 15th Street side from 1 p.m. to 5:30. We have people speaking on all 12 steps, and we have 2 topics added. One is the lady from Above and Beyond Memory will be talking about relationships and recovery, and then we have another speaker who will talk about other prominent issues with people staying out of jail and rebuilding their life and getting a second chance and prospering in the recovery community, helping others recover. So please come out. But back to you, Phylis, and talking about other programs you've worked with. You helped me when the market crashed in 2009. And I had a good prominent attorney, Ernesto Borges, working on something, and they were moving slow as all get up. And Phylis and her housing initiative with the NAACP and them trying to help owners get from being underwater, what we call, that the property values that had went up to 300, 400,000 for 2-unit houses, which was like worse than the stock market, the way they played with the paper in the housing industry to make money, and the banking industry and mortgage companies. All of them made money on the front end, and homeowners got killed on the back end. But Phylis them helped develop programming through the Chicago West Side Branch NAACP, and to go citywide and help people get in contact with different mortgage lenders and different other organizations that could help them get free refinance without spending the $3,000, $1,500 to $3,000 going through lawyers. And they move much faster because you was in direct contact with agencies that could help you facilitate what we call a refinancing at the time, or I think modification. Right then, not really refinance, modification, right? Yeah, the word was eluding me for a minute there. I'm glad in sync we said modification. But yeah, the modification of mortgages. And the government finally jumped in and started promoting, trying to help people in the new market that was significantly less than the one they had originally bought in late 2007, 8, early 2009. And during the same time, the market was crashing. And the worst part was they let a quote insurance agency do what insurance agency normally didn't do. And that is not have plenty of collateral to support the policies they were writing. In housing, you used to have, up until that little 3-5 year span of great growth. Somebody talked them into letting this be one group become a quasi insurance agency backing all these mortgages, and they didn't have an inkling of the money needed for billions of dollars of mortgages. and it collapsed the system, almost destroyed our country. It was so bad. So you want to talk a little bit about that in these few minutes we got left?
Let's call it bad government, number one.
Yeah, it was bad government.
It was piss poor government.
And I hate Mark Kirk, the new senator at the time, had the stroke, because just before that, he came out to Malcolm X and said they had a home program in the 80s when that happened. That they should have brought back, but then he fell ill, seriously ill. Thank God he recovered, but he never was quite the same, and couldn't do half what he would have liked for the people. Go ahead.
The market started crashing back in 2007, sooner than later. And we saw the writing on the wall. We really did. People were getting mortgages that they did not qualify for. People were getting adjustable rate mortgages, knowing they didn't understand or did not keep pace of the change. And adjustable rate is just that. Your rate adjusts over a number of years. And then they were getting interest-only loans, which means that if you had a $300,000 loan, and you only paid the interest, you never paid down on the principal, you never gained any equity or wealth building initiatives to get you into the home and keep you in that home. And that was the sad part about it. But with the programs under, once again, HUD, working with the lenders, NAACP, that was around the year where we sued over 17 banks because of those bad loans. And those bad loans were in our neighborhoods, black and brown communities, poor communities. They were appraising properties at high values just to get people in those loans. And then when the market crashed, those values were cut in half. So whatever you thought you were worth,
at least in half. Some went down almost a third.
At some point, we had some lenders or mortgage brokerage companies who were servicing the loan, just give the person a clear deed. Hey, you can have it because we don't want to be bothered. And those were good times for us because I was scouting those lenders to see who was giving the property. Let's give grandma her house clear and free, and she just has to pay the taxes and the insurance. But the program, the modification program, we saved a lot of families. Many of those families are still in their homes today. We were able to get them locked in at 2% interest rate, 2.5%. Could you compare 2%, 2.5% to today's rates, which are 6%? No way. And saved a lot of townships. Maywood, Bellwood, Broadview went far south in the southern parts of Illinois. We took it throughout the state of Illinois because under the NAACP, we have over 40-some units throughout the state of Illinois.
Branches.
Branches.
That's
and then
we call them.
Branches.
Because they might think housing.
Okay, so when you say
we need to own more than buildings that we have meetings in, though. But anyway, that's for another
day,
another topics.
But we saved many families who we could say, some that still call us today and say thank you very much because they're still Phylis. In their homes. You're quite welcome. And those are just some of the things that we do as advocates, being in the industry. Some people say, well, you're just in it for the money. No, we're going to make our money because that's what we do. We work. But most of the times, like any other biblical language, it says, God helps those who help themselves. That's first and foremost. And when you do 10 things good, you get tenfold back in appreciation. And it's the appreciation of knowing that we're servicing our communities, but also helping to save our black communities. And no racism or prejudice there at all, but every culture has a community. And if we had to say, Pilsen or Greektown or, what do you think of?
They never say anything wrong with that.
We're still working on trying to get the
Soul
Soul
Italy,
City.
None of that.
Still trying to get
problem.
Soul Cities. We're getting Soul City on the west side. But I'm just saying when we talk about communities and who's in those communities, it's normally people who look like you and I, who are being deceived by the predators that are out there. And that's why they labeled them predatory loans. So predatory lending is not as rampant as it used to. A lot of the government cut back on the regulations. We had the community, the CFPB. Okay, which is something that one of our senators started before she was a senator. Started that, And they're trying to gut that now in DC as well, because it's a program that helps people survive home ownership, because of they're now attacking CFPB. Certified is it Financial Protection Bureau. It protects the Consumer Protection Bureau. It's there to protect the consumer. So if you're being given a raw deal on a bad loan or even insurance, we're talking about those issues as well. To say there's an agency, a government agency that can assist you. So yeah, we do all the research with them as well. So yeah.
That is great, Phylis. You've done some great work. A Hand Up Recovery Homes and me personally are very gracious and in debt to you and programs you set up. And I had a lawyer, and in the end, they asked me about the lawyer when they finally got around to getting my modification moving. I told the bank, no, I don't have a lawyer. He was let go a while ago. I hadn't let him go. I had paid the money, but they were about to start me back over and kill the progress. And I was at the latter part of the modification system. And that could take some time, 2, 3, 4 months. And then, you go backwards to go. It was like, no.
10 steps back.
And I was like, I was too fortunate to go to that event and meet the people. And Phylis helped get me to the table with them, and they were able to get me rolling. And they sent me all the paperwork, and in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, they ready to get my modification completed. And
get
I
you back
couldn't
on
afford
track.
to go backwards and then be stuck 6 months with a law firm. Then they tell me they need some more money, retainer money. So no, thank you.
Well, the attorneys that we had working with us were really advocates as well. We worked with the attorneys that are the free service that work for civil rights, civil rights attorneys. Many of them participated with us. So it was a beautiful thing. People just needed to show up with their paper, commit themselves to the task at hand, which was to help them save their home. So if they were committed to saving their homes, we were there to assist them. And we saved a lot of homes.
And just before that happened, I also, because of adjusted rate, ended up had to go to NACA. And the original savior was the NACA program, which is the original housing program to help poor people who were getting jacked by predatory lenders way back in the 80s. And they went from starting with the car loans actually and turned into one of the greatest housing advocates in the world, and especially in the United States. And we'll save that for the next session. We'll go to NACA and a few other housing programs that help people when in trouble and or before you get in trouble with your homes.
Another program, another program which was a piece of policy we did shortly after that of suing those banks for defrauding the communities of their wealth, equity within their homes. We fought a bill, House Bill 4050. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do a little bit. Not as well. I wasn't as active with
This was right in the era where they were putting the X's on the houses and talk about demolition. This is if you owned a home on a block, and let's say there's only about 4 or 5 houses still standing on the block. The rest of the block is vacant. Springfield came up with a bill, House Bill 4050, that said that those properties could not be resold. No activity could happen within these 10 zip codes. It was 10 zip codes. You know where the 10 zip codes were. All within the black and brown communities. We had to fight that. And we had a coalition of thousands of people join us at this fight. And the bill went so well, you could still look it up. It's in the archives. HB 4050, segregating these 10 communities, 10 zip codes, out of getting their homes refinanced or sold at a reasonable price before they were put out of their homes. So it was the old stagnate the whole process.
We're going to really have fun in the next segment. We're going to wrap this. We thank you. A Hand Up Recovery Homes and, Speakathon, March 28th, Character Cincinnati AME Church, lower level, 1448 South Holman. And hopefully we'll get so big we go up to the sanctuary where we can hold 300 people at a time instead of just 100 or 65 to 75. Right. So you all show up and let's pack the house. and let the religious people know how spiritual we are.
Yeah, there you
or
go.
both and.
There you go.
But also, where can they reach you? They can reach us. It's on the screen.
Well, I would say to please forward the email to Mr. Wilbert Cook
Okay.
here, and he can send it to us.
All right. And I
Okay.
greatly appreciate it and understand the greatest housing advocate I know on the west side, west suburbs, state of Illinois. Thank you, Phylis
You're
Logan.
quite welcome. Quite welcome. Thank you.
It's been a plum pleasing pleasure.
There you go.
Blessings, everyone.